Welcome to the Intuitive Therapist Podcast with Janis R. Cohen, therapist, clairvoyant, empath, and medium. Listen in as she takes a no-nonsense deep dive into real human struggles and how to resolve them. Janis will share channeled information from her spirit guide team, as well as the angels and archangels, to help you master your emotional, physical, financial, and spiritual destiny. And now, Janis R. Cohen.
Hey y'all, this is Janis Cohen, the Intuitive Therapist, here on the Intuitive Therapist Podcast. Let me ask you a question. On a scale from 1 to 10, how good of a decision maker are you? And I want you to be honest. There's no right or wrong answer here, just honesty and transparency with yourself. If you're less than a 10, you're going to want to listen to today's episode, because somewhere inside of you, there is doubt about how well you can make decisions if you're less than a 10. In fact, most people really aren't great decision makers. They tend to flip back and forth between their thinking mind and their gut instinct, and they can't really ever seem to settle on one true strategy that helps them become a 10 when it comes to making decisions. So, I bring this topic up today because unless you truly know yourself, your decision making is gonna kind of suck. So, unless you know yourself, you really have no idea what you want, what you stand for, what matters to you, what you will and won't accept. The lines will always be blurry for you, and then you're going to ultimately have little faith in yourself for anything that you do. And decisions you make or actions you take kind of fall into that category. And so recently, I completed delivery of my 6-week program, Awaken and Align, to some of the most amazing women who are living in midlife. And they showed up authentically, transparently, and they were open to learning about themselves, and they became student of the teacher. And what struck me most about this group is that across the board, there was one major challenge, and it was how to really trust themselves. So today, I want to talk about the difference between using discernment and judgment when making decisions, because it's vital to how much you grow and come to know yourself. And it doesn't matter what gender you identify as. Decisions are decisions. But to make high quality decisions, you've got to begin to think differently about how you make decisions. And when we're facing any kind of decision or choice, any decision, large or small, typically most people use their thinking mind to create justification, meaning there is some judgment about their decision, right? And at the root of this kind of decision making is the question, who am I if I choose A or B? It becomes an identity issue. If I do this, then I'm that. If I decide this, then I'm that. And that's the wrong way to make a decision. The best, right, highest timeline decision-making strategy is to decide from discernment. And when you do that, the question moves away from who am I, if, to is this decision in the highest interest for me and my desires? That is discernment. And can you notice the difference here between discernment and judgment, right? One uses your thinking mind, your ego, and of course, like I said, judgment, the who am I if questions. And the other, discernment, uses your intuition, your higher mind, and your heart to make decisions. It's the how does this decision serve my highest good? Now, this is a powerful distinction because when you decide from a judgmental place, you pull in worry and fear and ego and other people's opinions, and you begin to question what the best judgment is. When you decide from discernment, you're tapping into your truth and what is in your best interest, which has nothing to do with anything or anybody else. It's answering the call of your soul and following what you know to be true for yourself. And most people don't give themselves permission to make decisions this way because you're so pulled to meet other people's expectations of you And you're also pulled to listen to the fearful ego, that it seems insane just to put yourself in your highest interest above anyone or everything, including your ego. And when you do this, it signals that you truly don't know who you are. Otherwise, you'd be standing firm in the trust that you have with yourself, that one, you can make solid decisions, and two, regardless of the result, you'll be just fine and you can pivot or move forward fearlessly. So the cold hard truth is that when you know yourself so well that somebody, if anybody were to ask you to describe yourself, you'd be able to list all aspects of who you are, the good, the bad, the ugly, without judgment of yourself and with full acceptance of all of you. And only then can you make decisions that are in alignment with the fullness and truth of who you are. Right? No shame. Ain't no shame in the game. Just here I am. Here are my faults. Here's where I'm great. Here's where I'm mediocre. But I'm okay with that because I'm always growing and learning, right? So go and test this theory using this one question and notice the only difference is in the kind of decisions you make, right? But not only that, but also the quality of them. And here's the question. What decision can I make here in this moment that is in my highest good? Okay, always ask yourself that. Is this decision in my highest good? And you'll feel it's a yes in your stomach and your chest when it anchors in. And when you're thinking about whether or not it's in your highest interest and your mind starts getting in the way, then it's not the right best decision for you. So I hope this has been helpful for you today. This question, what decision can I make with this right here that's in my highest interest? And hey, if you feel like dropping me a comment about this podcast on Instagram, I'm at The Intuitive Therapist, and I would love to hear from you. I wish you a blessed day, a wonderful week, and as always, live intuitively.
Thanks for listening to The Intuitive Therapist. If you like what you heard, the best compliment you can give us is to share this podcast with a friend. And be sure to give us some stars and a favorable review at Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen in.